When should you finally upgrade your pickleball paddle? That's what we're gonna go over in this video, starting from a beginner paddle, an intermediate paddle, and a pro level paddle. With so many paddles on the market today, it's kind of hard to decide what paddle you should be using at what skill level you are. Starting off with number one, this is our Professor Premier paddle. What it is, it's basically a 12mm fiberglass paddle. Normally, this is something that you buy in your beginner paddle sets that you find on Amazon for $29, $39, $49. We sell our kit for $49, and the benefit of having a beginner fiberglass paddle, nothing fancier than that, is it's just gonna get you into pickleball while you're learning about pickleball. You don't need any fancy technology, you don't need any raw carbon fiber, you don't need any of that mumbo jumbo. You just have to get out on the court and start learning the game of pickleball, start learning the rules, start learning where your positioning should be on the court, etc. What's great about our Premier paddle is it has a longer handle than traditional beginner paddles, and it's got this arrow curve shape, which allows you to swing a little bit faster through the air. So this is a great paddle if you're just starting off in pickleball. It has a fiberglass surface, which generates a ton of power, but it is smooth, so you don't get a ton of spin. But in the beginning, you're not really learning to spin shots. Again, you're just learning how to play the game of pickleball. So if you're just starting out, this is great to get. And you'll typically see it in something like this. It comes with 2 paddles, a bunch of balls, and a bag. This is what we sell. Now, if you've been playing pickleball for a little bit, 1 to 3 months, and you want to get something that's a little bit better, that suits an intermediate to a higher level paddle player, that's what this paddle is. This is the Professor Raw Carbon Fiber PhD paddle. Now let's go over the features and why it is a step up against the regular Premier fiberglass paddle. What makes this paddle unique is its raw carbon fiber surface. So all pro level paddles have this raw carbon fiber surface, which you can hear kind of sounds like sandpaper on your hands. What that does is when you swing, right? You swing with some topspin, the surface is gonna grip the ball and allow your shots to sink and get more topspin. That's why this is a higher level paddle than the beginner paddles, because of that surface. The specs are very similar. What this paddle has that paddle doesn't have is a 16mm core. So that means it's a little bit thicker. What that does is it gives you more control, because when the ball hits, it actually allows the ball to sit on the paddle face a little bit longer, which helps you with control over your shots. You can see the difference. This one, the 16mm core, is just a little bit thicker than the Premier paddle. That gives you that more control and more touch. That's why this is a higher level paddle. And it's a generation 1 raw carbon fiber paddle, which means it's not thermoformed. Basically what that means is they take the 2 layers of carbon fiber and they glue it to the core, and that's that. What you're sacrificing is a little bit of power, but more spin and control. When you go into thermoforming, that's our next level paddle that I will explain. But if you've been playing for a while, you don't want to spend a whole boatload of money on a pickleball paddle, like $150, $200, $300. This raw carbon fiber paddle is the paddle you should be using. Look for a Gen 1 raw carbon paddle. You got the Professor PhD, you got the Gen 1 Yolas, you got the Vatic Pros. There's tons and tons and tons out there. This is not a video just to sell you our paddles. I'm genuinely trying to give you a recommendation of which paddles you should be using. Now, stepping up to a pro level paddle. This is our Professor PhD Pro, and this is a raw carbon fiber foam injected thermoformed paddle. What do all those buzzwords mean? So basically what this paddle has over the regular PhD is it's thermoformed, right? It has a thermoformed construction, and it has foam injection within the edge walls. What that does is when they create this paddle, the factory makes this paddle, they put the raw carbon fiber sheets together, they glue it onto the core, and then they hot press it, they cook it in a mold. What that does, it makes the paddle a lot more rigid and a lot more firm and a lot more durable. You're actually gonna get more power out of this paddle because of that thermoforming process. Now, before they actually do that, they inject the foam in the edge walls, which actually weights your paddle. It weights the perimeter of your paddle, giving it more stability. Why stability is important is when you're hitting shots, it allows you a little bit more errors for mishits and still getting the ball over the net. It also gives you more power and more spin. It's basically an all-court paddle, but you are paying for that, right? This paddle is 150 bucks. Sometimes we run sales. I believe it's 129 in the link below. When we launched this paddle, it was $200, and very similar paddles are $250 on the market. With the PhD Pro, you're also gonna get that 16 millimeter core for that control, but while still maintaining power. And then you're gonna get a longer handle so you can actually put two hands on it. It feels a little bit rounder in your hand, and it's just overall a much better paddle than the two previous paddles, but you are gonna pay more. So if you're looking for something that you've been playing pickleball for 3, 4, 5, 6 months, you're ready to upgrade, you've been doing really well, your skill level's improving, and you're like, hey, it's time to get a real serious paddle, the PhD Pro is what you want to get. This is what I actually use every day personally as the owner of the company, is our PhD Pro. I love this paddle. I freaking trust it over any paddle on the market. I've used the bigger brand paddles, but I just like the feel of this paddle and for the price point. Again, this is a $200, $250 paddle. We sell it for a lot less because that's kind of the mission of our company, is to bring you great paddles at a great price. You don't have to overcharge it. We don't pay big players and big sponsors so we have to mark up our paddles. We sell them at really good prices. So if you want any 3 of these paddles, no matter where you are, you can click the link below and get them on our website, or you can get them directly on Amazon. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.